Hi everyone, good morning. Just heading out for our morning walk. Finally a good day of weather. I hope everyone is having a really great Memorial Day weekend. You know, back during my working life, the Memorial Day weekend was always the signifier that summer was here. You know, whether the New York weather thought it was or not, but so I always get really nostalgic feelings of activities that took place on Memorial Day and just the kind of the excitement of summer, you know. So we finally have a good day today. The last 2 days have been not great. Friday it rained all day. Yesterday it rained up through the early afternoon. I've got the sneakers on because the boots from 2 days ago are still wet. We got soaked. We got rained on. We took a really long hike and they weighed like 20 pounds when we got back. They were so wet. And yesterday more, and now today it's finally a sunny day. But we can't do super long hike out in the fields and such because I don't have my boots on. We get to enjoy a little bit of wildlife every morning down here. There's a lot of fish, like the orange carp. There's a lot of little carp in this pond. There's a lot of painted turtles. The geese are here every year, and they have their, what are they called? Chicks, or correct me if I'm wrong. They have their babies here, and we watch them grow. Those things grow so fast. I mean, from one day to the next, you can almost hear the bones growing. Those things grow so fast. They're little teeny puff balls, and within 2 weeks they're half the size of the adults, and give them another 2 weeks and they're like full size. It's incredible. Oh, here we go right here. So that's what I'm talking about. I've watched those. That's the 6 family. Oh, here comes another. That's the 3. Now, oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I was going to say that's a 7 family, and it is 7. I was hoping that one of them wasn't with them anymore. So that's 7. That's 3. And there was another couple. There was another couple that had just 1. And then about 5 days ago, they came across the street. They're coming from another pond that's over there behind the church. And the other day, they came across the street like that. And there was a single one that when they got over here to the pond, the single one just went off on its own. Like it wasn't part of their family, it was just traveling with them. And it went down on its own, and I've watched it for a few days. It's by itself, its parents are gone. And it makes me really sad to see that. I don't know what would cause, you know, I hope they didn't get hurt or, you know, an animal, because there are coyotes around here. Red foxes also I've seen. But that one single guy was just each day hanging out by himself. Okay, sorry. Sorry, quit talking, David. But that little single guy, and now I haven't seen him for about 3 days. And I'm saddened. I hope that wasn't the end of it. We're over across the way in the church parking lot. They've got really great grass over here. And there's a pond. We got back here recently to New York, and this has been a really, just in general terms, a really rough time for me. We had the incident out in Arizona with moving from forest to forest, and then I had that pain, that injury, and then we drove back across the country, and we got back here. And one thing I've noticed is each year when we come back here to home base in New York, my feelings about arriving here have changed over the years. I remember the first year that we got back here, I was so anxious to get back here. You know, it had been a rough first year, and I needed to make a lot of changes to the truck. And so getting back here was, you know, I couldn't have gotten back here fast enough. And then last year was not like that. I was coming back to do some refinements and fine-tuning, you know, no emergency kind of work on the truck. And it was really great getting back here last year because I didn't have any stresses of truck maintenance, you know, just regular things, but I didn't have any emergency stuff to do. And it was a really nice feeling. I had the new motorcycle come in last summer. Fast forward to this year, but we got back here and I was floundering. I couldn't focus myself on where my feelings were. I don't know how to say this right, but I was kind of, you know, I wasn't like jumping right into working on the truck. I didn't have focus on what I wanted to do. And it took me a while after getting here to kind of get my head back in the game. And I think that, well, I know I've done a lot of thinking about all of this to figure out why I was feeling like I was feeling. And I know that I outlined a lot of things for myself that I wanted to do on the truck, a lot. Some things that have to be done as far as my suspension and airbags, and I noticed my pinion seal is leaking on the rear end, so there are things that absolutely have to be done on the truck. On top of that, I have a bunch of things that I want to do, convenience items, comfort items that I want to change or add or remove. So I had a very long list of things to do to the truck. Then I had the health issues, you know, the injury that I had. I call it an injury. It was a muscle spasm. So I want to let you all know I have seen a chiropractor, 3 or 4 appointments so far. He started me on doing some exercises every day and was able to get to where I was 95% pain-free, very minimal discomfort. And the more and more exercises, the more days that went on that I did those exercises, the better I felt. It's called piriformis syndrome, and in very basic terms, down here, there's a muscle that goes from this hip bone area down straight across the butt, down to the bottom. That's the piriformis muscle. That muscle surrounds the sciatic nerve. That muscle went into spasm and around the sciatic nerve. That's the pain I felt. So to get that muscle out of spasm, that's the first goal. And then to work that muscle and strengthen it and strengthen the surrounding muscles so that it doesn't happen again. So it's working. From what I can tell, it's working. I had him step me up to a second set of exercises. The first ones were more about stretching and flexibility. And after doing those for some days, I went into a visit and I said, do you have something that's more like aggressive? And he said, absolutely, if you feel like you're ready. So now he's got me on a set that I actually have to do a little bit of work. And these are all like on the floor exercises. I bought a yoga mat. I have a yoga mat. And doing these things every day, getting a routine so that I'm doing them at the same time every day, getting used to them, because, as a layman here, I'm thinking I got to do these for the rest of my life. So I'm planning on doing these exercises, I guess, forever. And that's okay, It's a small price to pay to not have that pain again, but to also have some peace of mind that I'm not going to have that pain again. Now, Steve, thank you, Steve, if you're watching. Steve contacted me and said he had a TENS unit that he would like to send me. And it showed up the other day along with some things for Lefty. So this is a right angle plug with a splitter, so you can plug in 2 devices, dongles. But the thing I really wanted it for was this right angle, so it's gonna come out of the port and shoot straight to the side. Ah, look what you got. Wow. Left. Okay. Come on, this is a sensitive device here. Stop. I did a lot of people commenting about a TENS machine. I'd never heard of it before. And I did talk to the chiropractor about it, and he explained to me that he has one for his shoulder for his golf, but he said that those are perfect for when you have a spasm. You put that on and it blocks the pain. That's what the real use is. So it's when you're in spasm, you plug in and hook up the TENS machine, and it's going to give you instant relief, he said. So that's one thing that I was also dealing with. So I've got the big list of truck projects, and I've got working on that injury. I went for my physical. I hadn't had a physical since 2018. I didn't realize it had been that long. Don't yell at me too bad. I thought I had done it more recently. My doctor recommends my health and my age every 2 years. I'm going to start doing them every year. So I went for that annual physical, had blood work done prior to going. He said everything looks great, my blood pressure's great, cholesterol is great. I'm so thankful, because that takes a big load off my mind. You know, we have our greatest strength, and our greatest enemy is our brain, because it's what lets us do all the cool stuff that we do, but it also can make you freak yourself out. Regular physicals, I'm going to be able to put that aside, hopefully, and know that I'm in good condition. So I go to the physical, everything checks out. So the last part of the exam was they run an EKG, and the nurse said, okay, the doctor will look at this, and then I'll come and get you checked out. So the EKG runs, she leaves me alone in the room. Here comes the doctor back in with a printout of the EKG, and he says, I've got something, there's something on here that's concerning to me. And so my brain, instant freak out, right? That's not what you want to hear as a 57-year-old guy that drives around in a truck all the time with a dog. You don't want to hear that you got a bad ticker, right? So he says, I want to get you in an urgent referral to a cardiologist. He kept using the term event, like that I'd had an event and now there's something different. He said it's different from the last EKG that I had done in 2018. He sees a difference. So I'm freaking out. And he actually looked at me after talking for a couple minutes, and he goes, I just freaked you out, didn't I? I'm like, yeah, you kind of did. I get an appointment. They couldn't set up an appointment until, this was on a Friday. I got an appointment with the cardiologist on Tuesday. Okay, so now I'm a little on edge. So the next day, this weather front comes in here with like 110% humidity, rain. I woke up Saturday morning with the worst pounding, literal pounding in my head, headache, and I'm dizzy. And I know that heart issues can cause dizziness and all that. I mean, I'm literally listening to my heart pound in my head. It was so bad. I was feeling so bad, dizzy-headed, pounding head, headache. So that's Saturday. It continues through Sunday. It continues Monday. It's lessening a little bit, but I'm still feeling woozy and strange. Come on this way, buddy. Come on. So finally, it's to Tuesday morning. I already have a dentist appointment coming up, because in the middle of all this, I'm getting this strange feeling. If I push my cheek right here, I can feel it kind of shoot down to my tooth, and I'm like, that's not good. I was a dedicated 3-month visitor to my dentist for years. I was really up on dental because, 10, 12 years ago, I went through braces, extraction, implant, root canals, all this stuff to get my teeth healthy, and then every 3 months I was in there getting the full treatment. And of course that has changed since I've been on the road, and it's my own fault. I should never get to where I'm having any kind of discomfort with my teeth. You know, as soon as you feel something, you go to the dentist, right? That's what I always did. So I've got a dentist appointment, which I make it to Tuesday morning. They do an x-ray. He says, yep, for sure, there's something going on right here. He goes, and it also looks like this tooth goes into your sinuses. He refers me to a specialist that has a 3D x-ray machine to get a really good look at the tooth, see if it's in the sinuses, see what's going on. So now this is starting to explain maybe some of the pounding in my head and pressures that are causing me to feel woozy and dizzy, right? So he gives me a prescription, antibiotics, some giant ibuprofen. I go on my way and I go to the cardiologist. So I get in there, a young guy checks me into the room, runs an EKG on me, you know, asks me the 9 standard questions. And of course, I'm freaked out about this. I'm thinking that they're gonna hook me up to the machine and they're gonna say, we're calling an ambulance to send you over to the hospital. That's how I was feeling. And so when he's asking me questions, I'm sure that my answer slanted towards, I'm gonna die, you know, kind of stuff. So after he leaves and the doctor comes in, the doctor walks in the room, he looks at me and he does this. Relax. He said, you're okay. Because he could probably see it in my eyes, you know, I was literally freaked out. But I got really lucky. This cardiologist was a super cool dude. He explained everything to me about what's going on. I do have a thing with my heart, but he pulled up an EKG from 2012 and he said, you have this same thing back then. It's a little different now than it was back then. He goes, but it could stay the way it is now for the next 30 years, or it could continue to change. We'll just have to monitor it. Oh, there's a geese family right there. Come on, left, back this way. Come on. See, that's the pond right there. Sorry, didn't mean to bother y'all. Come on, left. So he takes all this time to explain it's an electrical issue. It's a right branch bundle blockage, RBBB. And it has to do with the electrical that passes across the heart from the different areas. When it gets to this one area, it's not doing 100% of what it's supposed to do. He said it's not catastrophic, it's just a thing. He goes, if you want, we could do a stress test just so you feel really comfortable. And I said, yes. So I've got that scheduled. The earliest one they had was sometime in July. So we're here, you know, I'm not leaving this area till I get this all sorted. That's absolutely for certain. So I'm gonna do a stress test with some dye they put in, something like that, to watch some things. He said, I'm gonna say that it's gonna show that you're fine. There's nothing here to be concerned about. It's really hard when I only got one hand. He really wants to go and I can't pull with just one arm, buddy. You're killing me. You're killing me. So I leave out of the cardiologist feeling like I'm on cloud 9, right? I'm not gonna die. My heart is not gonna explode. So all of that medical stuff going on, right? Got the injury, got the tooth, got the heart. Oh God, I just stepped in a big puddle. Come on, left. We're getting out of this area. So hey, come here. We normally cross the road here and go see the school across the street. And we go out behind that school, through the fields, like over the river and through the woods, literally. And then out, and we come out over by the dog park, and then we walk our way back up along the roadway, back over here to the church. I'm not gonna do that because of my footwear today, unfortunately, but Lefty is trying to pull me continually in that direction. And I don't blame him, you know, that's our daily thing. As I've been going through all of this and all the stresses and loads that I've had on my mind since we got here, it came down to figuring out that because I had such a massive list of things that had to be done, that I needed to use my prioritization and organization skills to tackle these things. when you're faced with a huge list like that, sometimes what can happen, to me anyways, is you get paralysis. Like, there's so many things to do that you don't do any of them, right? Because you don't know where to start. So I did kind of like a burn down chart on everything. You know, these are the things that I need to do. Like, I've got to do this before I do that kind of thing. And so once I knew that, I started to tackle these things. Obviously, the medical items were mandatory to be done right away. So I've started to tick things off on that list. And pretty soon here, I can feel it. And when I say feel it, I mean I'm starting to get jacked up to get out and start working on the truck. A couple days ago, I stopped up and visited my buddy that's a mechanic up at the Lincoln store, Tim. I said, Tim, I need your help. I said, the work, I have some things to do on the truck, and I can do them, but man, I would feel so much better if you were with me, because he doesn't do any job that's not perfect. You know, they have to be. He doesn't want to come back. So everything he does has got to be absolutely perfect. And he's seen and done everything when it comes to turning wrenches. And, you know, where I kind of clunk through things and come out at the end with a working repair, he does that 100% every time without any questions, you know. And I said, I really could use your help. I said, I'll pay you anything you want. And he said, how about $10,000? I said, accept that. But I'm so glad that, and he said yes, that he would come and help me. Absolutely. You know, I said, we're back here for some weeks, definitely, a couple of months. And so it's not like, you know, this weekend or anything. So I'm really happy. That took a huge load off my mind, because I have been already collecting up parts for the truck. I'm going to throw a list right along the screen here that hopefully will show some of the items that we're going to do. And you can probably see from that list that it's pretty all-inclusive, and there's a lot of stuff. And I like working on the truck. I like doing projects, but when there's so many that it starts feeling like work, like a job, then, you know, I kind of lose my go-go on it. So taking these things a small piece at a time and not trying to look at it all as one big giant task, but just small little pieces that can easily be done on their own. And once I started breaking things down like that, I feel a lot better. Because not to dwell on it, but I was in a pretty good funk when we got here. Just really not feeling like I was focused, that I didn't have any direction on what I was going to do first. And there were a lot of factors. You know, the medical was really weighing on me, as you can imagine. Once I finally got that good news from the cardiologist, that was like the best news I could have heard, because I was super stressed. Another piece of coming back here to New York is I have to like unwind, and that it might seem like all of my days are like, why would I be wound up, right? I don't go to work every day. I hope you find what you're looking for, buddy. But I really did have to unwind. You know, the challenges and stresses that I have in my traveling life, they exist. They're different than what you have when you're, you know, living back in a house, but they do exist. And I felt so much more of like I was the feral man coming in out of the wild into 7-Eleven for the first time in his life to get a Slurpee. You know, I really felt that way this year. I was really disconnected. It's just a whole batch of different feelings this year from the past years when we came back to New York. Really different year. And I'm happy to say that today I feel really good. Physically, emotionally, mentally, I feel really good. Don't get me wrong, I still got that giant list in front of me, but over the last few days, I'm starting to feel like, you know, I'm running on all 8 cylinders and I'm going to tackle all these things. I'm starting to get excited, but, you know, I wasn't before, and now I'm starting to get excited about doing some of these projects, because the things, you know, there's mechanical things I have to do, but there's also some creature comfort things. I'm going to finally build a slat bed. Many of you have commented about why don't I have a slat bed. Didn't build it, you know, when I first set up the truck, and I've just never gotten back around to it. It's always been on my list, and this year I'm going to do it because of my concern over my hip, back, buttock muscle. I don't want to have to be doing extra strenuous bed folding every day when I can just pull out the slat and flip the mattress down. So that is absolutely going to be done, and that I am excited about. So I'm starting to get pumped up to do all this work. I mean, all of you have probably noticed that my video releases slowed recently because I wasn't feeling it, you know, to be honest with you. I was so concerned about myself and my well-being. Another thing is Lefty. He already had his vet checkup. He's good. But part of our visit here this year is he's getting his tooth extracted, his upper right canine. That has been damaged for years. And it hangs over me, and I start to get a little bit feeling when I talk about it, because he's got to go under anesthesia. He's getting a full teeth cleaning, and he's getting his right upper canine tooth pulled because it's damaged and it's starting to deteriorate after all these years. He jumped up 5 years ago and tried to grab an aluminum softball bat out of my hand. And if you can imagine it, ding, and the blood, and it turned gray like immediately. And you know, I went to the vet. He said it looks like it has a hairline crack. Went to a specialist, almost $4,000 for a root canal with no guarantees. And then I talked to a bunch of people that had their dog's teeth pulled, a canine, damaged canine, and they're like, the dog's fine, they don't know what's missing. And so over these last couple of years, tug-of-war with Lefty, I've stopped doing tug-of-war because I'm afraid that tooth, that I'm going to rip it right out of his head. So we're going to get that straightened out. As much as I hate to have Lefty go in there and go under the knife and the anesthesia, it's got to be done for his well-being. And that has weighed heavily on me also. So I got a lot of fish in the frying pan this year back here. But I know from years past, and being a person that likes to psychoanalyze themselves, that the best way to improve your mood, this is for me, the best way to improve my mood is to get up off my butt and start doing stuff. You know, you're faced with a list of tasks, you're feeling down, so you don't do the tasks, and that makes you feel even more down, so you don't do the tasks, which makes you feel more down. It's this repeating circle. And as hard as it is sometimes to just get up off your butt and start doing those things, that is what triggers you to start feeling better. And here it is, it's working again. So getting these things clicked off the list, like I said, it's really lifting my mood, making me feel a lot better. Don't get me wrong, it's not like I was laying in bed and depressed, anything like that. I just wasn't feeling focused about what I was doing, which is unusual for me. I usually, kind of regimented on, I'm doing this now and then that and then this. That's just part of my DNA. And I wasn't feeling that way because I had so many things coming at me. And instead of it being one giant pizza, I sliced it all down and started eating one piece at a time. And in doing that, I'm going to eat the whole pizza. Is that a good metaphor? Come on, Pop. You want to go get some dinner? Huh? Come on. Guys, go get some dinner. I know you're mad at me. Come on. He's mad at me because we didn't go over behind the school. Come on. There you go. That's my boy. That's my boy. Okay, yeah, we'll go around the pond up here this way, okay? So have a great Memorial Day. I hope everyone is just having great weather. We've got a beautiful day today. It's supposed to get up to near 90 tomorrow on Memorial Day. I hope y'all are having such a great time. Thank you all for being here with us. Everybody take care, be safe. We'll see y'all again really soon. Grandma got a new car. This is one of those hybrid, half battery, half gas, lane assist, crash avoidance, adaptive cruise, panorama roof, everything. And I don't like it because it screams at me all the time, telling me that there's cars that are too close to me and I need to slow down. I know how to drive. I don't need a dashboard telling me how to drive.